What's up, Questers? We're watching some Lost Ark gameplay. We have a long time quest.
Solo, and today, once again, we're talking about
chat.
Lost Ark and some very good news in reference to it.
Speaking very highly
most
of
of us
it.
never thought we'd actually
I don't really
see.
know what an
It's
ARPG,
finally time
honestly,
that we've had
is.
word on the global release. Now, if you don't know what I'm
Global
talking about,
release.
Lost
Yes.
Ark is a Korean-made isometric camera action RPG. Imagine
What does
that
isometric camera mean?
Diablo style of game. It's that hack and slash style of combat with both PvE and PvP buffed out with good gameplay systems and fleshed out end game content. It's like what Diablo 3 could have been, but much more MMO-esque and, well, actually has some proper depth to it. I've actually made a video about this game before, ages ago, last year, talking
This
about
is the
how
kind of
it
shit
may
I'm
actually
into.
be the most anticipated MMO to come to the West since we've been waiting for it since 2014.
Why do you have to grind, Melf? Dude, you don't have to grind for us to play. In fact, I'd prefer you have a low rank, then it's easier to win.
You don't need me to say much about this game. You can just look at the gameplay and see how good this thing is. From its crisp visual style and animations,
The
to
visuals
weighty
are
combat,
gorgeous.
satisfying
The way
playstyle
that
with a
only,
range
like,
of classes already updated multiple
Eastern
times.
made
It's in an
games are.
extremely good state. And if we saw this game come to the West, it'd be like getting a fully fleshed out MMORPG with multiple expansions of content all on day one. So if you'd like to learn more about this game and a proper look at the classes and gameplay, the systems, I strongly recommend you check out my first video. Anyway, the game is very exciting, obviously, but the less exciting side of this, however, is that we've literally been waiting for it for 6 years. All hope
6
was
years? Oh my
almost
gosh.
lost until last year when I covered the game and topic, when at the time it had ongoing
Did he say
efforts
Quest?
to release the game outside of Korea
Dude, that
at long
foot
last.
smash
Now, beta
ability,
testing
what
had
the
been
fuck?
ongoing in both China and Japan, and all the better, there's been ongoing testing in a Lost Ark Russian release too, which has been doing very well. Steadily, they've been moving around regions and stabilizing, and then moving to the next one, which leads us to hope that finally, one day, it would come to the West. And that's where we left it, all the way since last year, and today, I've got some very good news at last. Western
year,
release has been confirmed. Finally. On the official Lost Ark Facebook page, we had
Facebook
this sort of reply
page.
post saying and quoting that
Reply
we are currently
post.
working hard to prepare for a global release. Finally,
we don't have a
dude,
date?
It's happening. And there's no doubt or hope or logic to break down here. It's just genuinely happening. They're already working on it. It's just a matter of time now, instead of a hopeful maybe. This post came in response to a hopeful player and follower of the game named Matthew, asking about potential oceanic servers someday. And it was surprisingly answered with this: "We are currently working hard to prepare for a global release. We can't mark the date yet, but we want to tell you that we're working on it and are looking forward to announcing some good news in the near future." To that official video or whatever text post they put alongside it, so we can finally get our hands on a real date or area of time that the game is expected to release in the West. I don't think we'll be waiting long for this either, because it was speculated and, well, expected that we'd see this global release official announcement at a gaming conference that was
You have
unfortunately cancelled.
an English language patch that translates everything? Dude, that sounds sick. Damn.
Back in April, obviously due to COVID-19. Prior to that, though, they were putting together an international brand for the game development projects of this company. Rather than be a separated sort of form of multiple companies all hosting and managing Lost Ark in their various regions of China, Korea, Japan, and Russia, they're going to bring them all under one wing that can work together much better
Ooh.
as a sort of, well, global company. So all
The
signs
sailing
point
is
to a
interesting.
global release with that, and it's a shame that we didn't get to see this news properly announced at this cancelled event. But because of that, I would be shocked if we were waiting very long at all for this announcement to come. Now we've had this Facebook post talking about it already. Now there's some concerns about the mobile
How old is
version
this
of Lost
video?
Ark and how that might actually be what's going to be announced next instead of a global release, which,
It's
you
like
know,
2
is
months
still
old.
possible. However, mobile gaming is much more of a powerhouse and money-making machine in the East compared to the West. So
Twitter?
it would make much more sense for them to release that
And
there
Twitter?
first. And since they've not really announced that, and also a full global release of the game would have much more draw and impact than a mobile release of a game
Rave
in
Party
the West
Island,
that they haven't
nice.
even been able to play yet. well, more than that ever would. So yeah, I don't really expect this to be about the mobile game. I'm knocking on wood when I say that,
this
and I'm
doesn't seem
expecting the
right.
global release to be the sort of main focus. Now, other than that, it's just a case of how long for the actual release. Like, yeah, we'll get that official announcement soon, but what do we think now about when the game will be released in the West? Ultimately, they've released the game successfully in 3 major regions past the original of Korea, so they've got good experience at this type of thing. Making sure it runs well, and the massive task of translating and voicing everything in the correct language does take a long time. But they've got good experience
has made
with
updated
this process,
videos.
so I think that'll actually
Or
have an
maybe
impact on the
Lost
release.
Ark.
It's obviously a game worth waiting for, because I can casually mention this title to friends,
Global
and they
to
remember,
mobile?
they know what I'm
What?
talking about.
What does
I
that
actually had
mean?
a sort of funny interaction with a friend who asked me if I knew about the game, having never spoke to them about it before. In general, it kind of feels like
This shit
anyone
looks
who's
crazy.
ever been
It's
into a
fucking
Diablo-style
gorgeous. Holy
game
shit.
and is into that genre as a whole has some awareness
Whoa,
of
is this
Lost Ark, and that's
PvP?
for
That
good
looks
reason. It's a
fucking wild.
successful powerhouse of a game. And with that, people have been wanting to play it for years already. So I believe that the interest will not wane to a damaging level if it does take a bit of time to release from the perspective of this core future player base. The game has been continually updated and improved. You know, new content's been added, new classes have been released. And in my video last year, we actually were looking at one of the newer classes released, which was the Holy Knight.
Released by
Paladin-esque
2021
warrior using holy powers
is what it
support
says.
or even direct combat. It looked great. And I would
Alright.
imagine that on release, we
I
would
can
have
wait.
access to the majority, if not all the content of the current Korean version. Or maybe they
Global
do it
to
similar to
mobile game
Monster Hunter
release.
World on PC.
Black
where it's
Desert
sort of an
Online is on
accelerated
mobile? Is that what
rate
you're
of
saying?
release
I didn't know that was a
of
thing. That's
content
fucking
to catch
crazy.
up to the
Dude,
Korean timeline.
every
It's a
spell that I
massive
see is
game
like
after
fucking
all,
sick.
and
Holy
it's
shit.
been ongoing for years, so it's quite a lot. Once again, though,
Wow.
if you'd like to learn more about the game,
Game's sick. Dude, thanks for sharing. Definitely excited to check that shit out.